Hello, everybody. Welcome to the first podcast of The Lookout, a European hub for Dragon Ball Super card game players in Europe, and we're very happy to have on our first podcast René Heijnen from the Netherlands and Filip from Croatia.
Hi, guys.
Hello. We are doing this podcast, and I'd like to first give the opportunity to René and Filip to introduce themselves. Go ahead, guys.
Filip, you'll start.
Okay. So I'm Filip Junkic. I am one of the co-founders of The Lookout along with Andrija. Well, you probably know a bit about The Lookout, but it is we are striving to become a European hub so we can really get all the news and give you everything we can and unite Europe. So we do what we can to play and play better. Okay, René.
René Heijnen, owner of TCG-Collectibles, web shop for different card games along the years. Started off with Yu-Gi-Oh!, branched out to Pokemon, Vanguard, Final Fantasy as of recently, and Dragon Ball Super. Also was vendor during several nationals, vendor during European Championship for Dragon Ball Super, and one of the persons who is responsible for hosting the Extravaganza later on this year in the Netherlands.
Excellent. This is actually really great, and thank you very much for being on the podcast and giving your time to organize amazing events in
No worries. Glad to be here. Glad to you have an extra platform to promote the event and ourselves, and good.
Absolutely. We've been around only for 2 months, and we're very happy with how we are advancing, and very happy to have you. And it seems that you have been busy this year specifically, and you've I think now decided just to sell only Dragon Ball on TCG-Collectibles, right?
Yeah, late last year we decided to stop with Yu-Gi-Oh! That's because of diminishing sales, less gross turnover, and several other companies having different business methods than us, making it nearly impossible for other stores to have fun doing what they're doing, and that is still why I'm doing this. One is for the community, and two is for fun.
I see. So I hear that you're organizing this Extravaganza tournament in September. What can you tell us about it? Can you tell us a bit more and how it actually fits into the whole game growth? Let's say growth of the game in Europe.
The thing is, though, we decided to host the Extravaganza basically with the same mindset as Pro Play Games and Ultra Reality Games are hosting their circuit series or their events. Similar, it's going to be a 2-day event. First day is singles, second day is going to be tops for singles and the team event. There's going to be side events during and throughout all 2 days. But the main reason why we did this is we're very close to the community. We're on Facebook a lot. We talk to a lot of people. And we noticed something that we were lacking, and that was a big international tournament, which was not in the UK, because we had Euros and we had the UK Game Expo, which I unfortunately could not partake in. But we noticed people were willing to travel, as long as the event was decent, was in a good location, easy accessible by both flight and public transport. And there wasn't really a company wanting or willing or daring to step up, because it is quite a big investment doing something like this.
Yeah, certainly it is. And apart from all things you have actually said, another main thing that everybody that is willing to participate is the pricing. So there to comment a bit on what you will be offering to the players.
What I can comment on now is the information that we have released. For example, the singles, the tops will be winning secrets, being Son Goku, the Awakened Power, aka Victory Strike, Arcane Absorption Majin Buu. That might change to something bit more high value, though, depending on what we can get done with specific sponsors, which I cannot go into too much detail. We've currently got 2 sponsors committed to the event. They have not released the pricing they're going to give us, though, so I can't confirm them yet. There are 2 companies willing and able and have confirmed to us that they're going to be able to sponsor the event. What we did as well is we contacted an American design artist to design custom playmats for it, which are the Gohan and Cell ones.
Excellent.
Have you seen that one yet? We've posted it on the web shop.
Yeah, I think I saw it. Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah,
Looks really nice.
and basically all the other stuff is just tournament packs, championship packs, event packs, Pro League packs that we've been trying to purchase from everywhere.
I see.
That sounds significant, and that's actually quite excellent.
Yeah, and there's a lunch during both days as well. That is included in the pricing.
This is also something that usually you don't get in big tournaments. And I know it's part of the law in the Netherlands, as you mentioned.
I don't think it's part of the law because I just came off of an event that we hosted in Eindhoven for Final Fantasy. Square Enix contacted us for that.
Nice.
And the event there was 130 players, and the venue didn't make us have a certain lunch requirement. But as soon as you go above 200 people, basically all the companies demand that you have some form of it.
Yeah, I see.
Of course.
And how does your tournament actually? Because how does it fit into what's happening with a lot of big tournaments announced? I think last week by Bandai. Yeah,
the last week was a very weird period for us because we noticed that Bandai released information in regards to some bigger events indeed. One of them, however, is really close to the date that we have. But I think it's a good thing that Bandai now starts doing larger scale events for Europe as well, because we've been lacking some things. But we'll go into that in a bit more detail, and this is going to be a bit more of repetition of what we had before.
Yeah, true. We have been waiting for a while, so it's actually quite nice that it's happening even on your side, and this is probably the first more significant recognition of theirs, I believe.
I think so as well, yes.
Yeah. And yourself, I know you have your tournament, a huge tournament to organize. But will you be participating in other big preliminaries around Europe? You already have some flights booked?
Germany, we're driving to. That's not going to be an issue. And it's fairly likely that I'm going to go to the one in Spain as well. For some reason, they hosted the UK and the Spain event right after each other. So we can't partake in both, but we are at least going to try to go to the one in Spain because I'm a bit fed up with traveling to the UK. Plus, the finals is going to be in the UK as well. Yeah. So I prefer to travel to a different country if we have that chance.
Yeah, a bit for a change of venue and scenery and everything.
Yeah, and the fact that you don't have to get pounds, and the fact you don't have to look the other way as soon as you cross a road. And
yeah, exactly. True.
And there's one more incentive, and that's the venue of the Barcelona event is just next to the beach. So, well.
Yeah, and I noticed that as well.
Yeah.
So now, while we're talking about European tournaments and everything, so René, can you tell me what can you say about the Dragon Ball Super card game community generally around Europe? What do you think? How we are developing as a continent?
I think as a community itself, it's growing very rapidly because we see different TOs hosting small locals all over the place. We've actually got one in the south of the Netherlands, in Zealand, and stuff like that. Andrija and I partook in the one last time, and I'm going to be there Sunday again because it's fun events. And even though you have little turn up, the event itself is a lot of fun. The people there are really friendly, really nice, willing to have a mellow mindset and everything. I think that's one of the biggest differences between Dragon Ball Super and different card games. I do, however, have to emphasize there's a lot of people currently fairly unhappy with how organized play is going, so the current changes bode well for the future, but I just hope it's not too late.
Yeah, we hope so too. Because there are great potentials, a great potential for change and for growth.
Yeah.
Just Bandai really needs to recognize Europe as a whole, and not just the UK.
Well, I think it's not even that. I think it's if you look at Bandai's vision, how I see it for now, is they see North America as their main focus. If you, for example, look at what's happening now with the special anniversary boxes, North America has them. Any other continent, for example, South America, Australia, entire Oceania, Canada, Europe, they've all been delayed. So only North America has received their product, and no other. So that is what is weird to me, because there's more than just North America.
It seems like it's a safe space for them, that they're certain to make a profit, and they're like afraid to go into Europe, although the potential is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see. I think this will improve a lot. I mean, we know that there were delays before, and there still are. But I guess in Europe we can wait for a couple of weeks, and then we will have enough time with new cards to prepare for all the big preliminaries coming. And I think an even bigger challenge actually awaits us, and that's the actual set 7 coming out, which is going to change the metagame completely. I think even than the anniversary box, and it will come right in the middle of all of these preliminaries, big preliminaries, and I think we can really expect a huge competition during that time, during these big events. And this is why I think that Bandai really got it right with organizing the biggest possible tournaments in Europe at the right time with the new additions. And it's going to be a lot of fun for a lot of people, and I think the community will grow. And this is also, I think, important for the smaller countries in Europe, which are just blossoming. For example, like Croatia. I know there are things happening slowly in Romania, in Austria, in
Poland,
Switzerland, Poland. Poland has a very, very growing community.
Yeah.
We're going to have a couple of content creators from Spain, Italy, France, Poland, Croatia, a couple of other countries writing stuff for the Lookout in the next few months. So we are kind of testing and starting with this as well. So, and we are hoping also to receive a lot more. I'll personally be covering Belgium and the Netherlands, Croatia as much as I can. Filip, of course, and a lot of my other buddies in Croatia will cover. We are actually trying to even see if there is a second city in Croatia to start running these tournaments. But well, everything in its own time.
Yeah, and you need stores willing to help in that regard as well.
Absolutely. And I know you in the Netherlands, you have your monthly clash where a lot of players are coming every month. I think this is a very good example to benchmark. If there isn't a smaller tournament every weekend, at least there is a huge clash every month. And we know as older as we get, we time flies quickly, so these clashes actually arrive pretty fast.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, what I've been noticing in recent events is there is more and more companies willing to partake in events like this. They know their way to find Bandai and get stuff done. I've been traveling to several stores as well, explaining them what Dragon Ball Super is, trying to get them hyped up as well. Has worked for one store now, Yuang. It's a bit more centralized in the Netherlands.
Right.
So that's cool, because we're going to have our first event hosted that tomorrow. It is going to be hosted by me, but it's going to be in their store. but it gives them a very good overview of what it is, what it entails, what happens with it, and what you can expect from people like that.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, you have to be proactive. I mean, with the game like this, going slowly. I mean, you really have to be proactive and.
Exactly. It will only live if we let it to, and if we actually promote it as creators and players as well.
Yeah.
And if we take into account that Bandai has announced all these tournaments we have talked about, we can actually try riding that bandwagon. So we will see more recognition now because they have finally started looking into Europe more concretely, and they will probably analyze what is going on. So now we have to show that things are going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think if you look at the European Championship, that was sold out. Then you had the UK Gamers Expo, which was fairly weird because if you look at the event itself, it could have succeeded so well, but if you just look at the details of the event, it was just weird because it was going to be in a con. The details of the event were published fairly late, as in, is it going to be best of one, best of three? Is it going to be decent side events? Do we have to partake in buying another ticket first? I think people were a bit fed up with traveling to the UK, so that wasn't the huge success it could have been. And based on that low, I wanted to get something going, which is why we started with the Extravaganza. But I don't out anything until it is set in stone. Same reason as I'm saying, yes, I have sponsors, but I'm not going to give names or be informative about what they're going to be able to give.
Of course, the time.
Yeah,
but it's a great start anyway to have a few sponsors. You also have I think around 10 people registered already, and I think it just requires time as well. Now that the people have seen where the tournaments will take place, and you have one of the best prizings anyway. So I think it's just
and it can only become more because the pricing we have now is set in stone.
Yeah.
Participation prize is 1 championship pack, 1 event pack 2, 1 tournament pack 5 and 6, 1 Broly pack 3, a pack of prismatic defender sleeves, which we are one of the 2 companies in Europe being able to sell them, and an ultimate guard deck box. And that's just the participation prize, that including the 2 lunches for both days.
Yeah, that is absolutely coming. Absolutely coming, and I mean, you will have also a lot of very experienced players, and I'm sure in your tournaments it's going to be a real challenge. I think that really is something that the players are expecting. I mean, we know that a lot of competition will arrive from the UK, and I know you have really good friends there.
Yeah.
And
the funny thing is as well, sorry to interrupt you and your shout out. If this event will be a success, I have option to go to, for example, Germany and or Poland.
I see, for another event.
Yes.
Excellent. This will make the Polish players happy as well as the German players.
as well as us in Croatia, because it's way closer as well.
Yeah, that's true.
But that is all depending on whether or not the current one is a success or not.
No, of course.
Well, now we have the northern part of Europe pretty well covered. We have the French and the Italian players also playing their own local.
They are welcome to join in the Extravaganza, though.
That's an important point. That's an important point. Yes, so you are allowing for the French and the Italian cards to be played, and this is going to be a big thing for the players. And we know, of course, it's also Utrecht is also very easy to get to, actually, from these bigger countries. So that's actually awesome.
The only requirement we have for that is if they come with a French or fully Italian deck, it has to be a fully French or fully Italian deck. So all the cards have to be in the same language. Plus, they need to have an English translation of all the cards present.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, the feel of the cards is a bit different, isn't it, from the English ones?
Yeah, basically they have a different type of foiling, different type of grain in the card itself, so it feels a bit different and it looks vastly different.
Yeah, and that's why it makes sense to have a whole French, Italian, or English deck then.
Yeah, we want to make it as accessible as possible for everyone, but we still want to uphold the fairness of the game itself.
Of course.
Yeah. And do you think that the game will get how to say more difficult with the new multicolored cards arrived? If I can ask you that, because I'd like to get your opinion on how the game will change with these cards and what are your favorite ones so far.
I think there's a new form of depth with it, because you can now add in cards that, for example, in Magic, the multicolor lands you have there, they added a very big change into certain types of decks. What was being played, what was not being played, what was being countered by them as well. And I think if you look at the possibility of the dual colors, then there's a very good chance that they'll make an impact. But for now, with the current meta, I think they're a bit too slow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because they have to go into rest mode, unlike Magic, where better lands actually can come active at the beginning.
Yeah. But don't forget, this is the first time that we've tapped into dual energy, and Magic has had them for over 15 years.
Yeah, that's true. And we have yet to see the rest of the set 7. We only have a handful of cards actually here.
And there hasn't really been a big event after the release of them.
True.
We've only had Origins, and Origins had like 51 players, I think. So that is for European standard, that's fairly decent. For American standards, that's very small.
Yeah.
Right.
Regarding the cards that we have seen so far in set 7, you see those sneak peeks. Do you have any cards that you're most excited about?
I'm always a bit skeptical when it comes to releases like this, because I prefer to wait until we see the entire set in order to make a call on that.
Good. Maybe we can do another podcast when the whole set is revealed, a couple more people, and then we can make a really nice commentary on the whole thing.
When we can analyze it really concretely, yes.
I am a big fan that they've brought back the signed cards though.
Yeah, same.
So those were beautiful and remain so.
It does make me scare a bit about potential of a very good secret. Same with the Awakened Son Goku.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Two secrets actually coming in.
Yeah, I know, but one of them will fairly likely be a very good one, and the other one will fairly be very lackluster. For example, with Demigra and Son Goku Jr.
Yes.
True.
I think that's the best example of them releasing one very, 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 very good one, and one very mediocre one.
And do you have any cards or playstyles you would actually like to see in the new set?
Me personally, I've always been quite intrigued by what we used to call burn. I'm missing that a bit in Dragon Ball as of yet. Something that, for example, the lightning fast hit does. Just basically, as soon as it comes into play, deal damage. I'm hoping that they'll release more product along that line, because that is something that I have been very intrigued about.
Yeah, I think they're very, very careful about it, because it really will change the game a lot. I mean, because there are no counters to that. Actually, you cannot counter. Well, you can only with Cold Bloodlust.
Yeah, but that's the same thing with Yanemba. As soon as they released Yanemba, there was nothing to counter it, and then the set afterwards they released Super Shenron.
Right, exactly.
True. But they're probably even more careful, because unlike Magic, where you have more life, you have only 8 here, so it just goes.
The thing is, if they release one card that does it, deal 1 damage, you can basically play that either 4 times, or it has to be the secret with Ultimate.
Yeah, true. Good then. Well, hoping we get some more cards to see. I think they're releasing a few a week, so we'll be seeing more, I guess, as of next week.
Yeah, they're trickling in.
Yeah, slowly.
Very good.
But yeah, we'll just keep on playing. And I know that René, I think I played against you twice and lost twice. So I'm hoping to change that very, very soon. And Filip, I think I also played you once and I lost as well. So we gotta do some more playing before all of these big tournaments.
We really do. I didn't really have much time to play lately with the double jobs I do and other projects. I really need some practice to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Literally.
I think the best thing you can do is just know 100% what your cards do.
Absolutely.
That's true.
That. Yeah. I mean, when you get burned once, when you get shark rolled a few times, you start considering this being a very, very important thing. So.
No, but I think, for example, when I was playing against you the last time with the buddy fight, the training buddy Krillin, for example.
Yeah.
The fact you can reduce something with 5,000 is so very important, and if you forget that, that is very clutch.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, those 5,000 can mean between a loss and a win.
Yeah, it can kill an Android 8, for example, in the mirror. Hint,
Yeah.
hint.
It's good to go to the end of the podcast slowly with a laugh. I think we're up to almost 30 minutes, which is I think a very, very high attention span of a lot of people.
No worries.
And I really like to thank you, René, for taking the time and also being very, very proactive in this European environment, and also, if I remember, going to the US recently to get some more pricing support, and of
to
course,
Miami, indeed.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pro Play Games, George. Shout
out to I think I'll do a few more shout outs as well to the organizers of the UK Games Expo. I've participated and really had a good time. I know the event turned out because it was really fastly organized. But I think we will see much better tournaments in Europe this year. Filip, thank you as well for taking the time, and let's see what we can do. I think the players and all the fans of Dragon Ball Super Card Games, they can expect a lot of content from us in the future.
So that's yes.
It's only the first podcast, as we say, but yeah. As I said, thank you. Any last comments from you guys?
I'd like to thank you for taking the time to do this podcast. It's always nice to have additional promotion for either an event, which, for example, the Extravaganza, 21st and 22nd of September, will be in Utrecht. I hope you guys are able to add the link to the information and to where you can get the tickets.
Absolutely. Everything will be below the video.
Good.
Exactly.
And I think Europe has good things coming to them. We just have to be patient.
Yeah, can't agree more.
And as the last thing, I'd really like to thank the Lookout fans. We have only just started, but actually we are very happy with the readability and that people are noticing our articles. It
really means a lot, guys. So thank you.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend ahead, and to all the fans out there, see you soon in bigger events.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.